It is not good enough anymore. Simply isn't good enough anymore, to a point where it is almost starting to feel a little bit personal. Manchester United are far too inconsistent. Manchester United cannot put two solid performances back to back ever. I don't remember the last time we played two decent sides and in back-to-back games we actually performed to a competent level. Now, don't think I'm sitting here and being a spoilt brat. Don't think I'm sitting here believing that we should be performing like a peak Fergie side, a peak Barca, a peak Bayern Munich. I don't think we should be there yet, based on 11 years of malpractice from our owners and the gutter of which we found ourselves in. But I do believe it is possible, with a competent head coach, to have a solid structure in and out of possession in the vast majority of games we play. If you look at the structure in and out of possession against Crystal Palace, by and large, it was very good. I was encouraged by it. I praised it. I stated I wanted to see more. You fast forward 3 or 4 days to when we play FC20. That structure has dissipated. It is gone. And it's because this manager, in my humble opinion, doesn't have an approach which promotes consistency. It's almost, I think there needs to be an element of freestyle in games. I think there needs to be an element of creative freedom that the players are afforded. However, there has to be a base structure that you follow in the vast majority of games unless the circumstances dramatically change. The way we empty our midfield is horrendous. And in Europe, we get punished so regularly. 1 win in our last 9 European games under this manager. And let's just not sit here and think we have been playing the creme de la creme of European opposition. We simply haven't. And normally, I wake up the day after a match and I'm a little bit calmer. I feel like the full fan highlight show we do, it's a bit of a cathartic process. But I woke up today and my head was hot. Our European record under Ten Hag stinks. We struggle to score goals. His substitutions are absolutely horrendous. They are awful. 2 games running, the substitutions killed us. Taking off a striker when we need a goal when bringing on Rasmus is crazy. Putting Bruno, not just out onto the right, but leaving Bruno Fernandes on the pitch is an absolute abomination because right now he has been so poor indeed. Rashford, our best attacking player yesterday, taken off when he should have been kept on. Ugarte, who I'm not throwing under a bus right now, let's give him some time. But he was awful. Why was he still on the pitch for the whole game? Do something. All of this stems from our head coach, Erik Ten Hag. When Ineos kept him, I thought it was a mistake. But objectively, I said, I'm going to get behind it. I'm going to wait to see some of the fruits of this labour. And for me, I've tasted the fruit and it is sour. It is rotten. It is putrid. Ineos have to act. I trust the process. But part of that process is sacking this head coach. It has to be. I don't believe, and look, you may think that he can turn this round. I'd love you to explain to me why in the comment section. You are entitled to your opinion. I absolutely concur with that. You're allowed to have those thoughts and feelings. But I do not believe that he is ever going to make us a consistent team. Our European record is awful. Our Premier League record under him is abysmal. We cannot get by on just League Cups and FA Cups. Trophies are the pinnacle, but not in isolation. Performing how we do in Europe and in the Premier League, but winning domestic trophies is not the pinnacle of the sport. Not by a country mile. We need to get back to a point where we can compete for the league title every year, compete for the European Cup every year. That isn't me being a spoilt brat. I am basing this on the money we generate as a football club due to the size of our fandom, the wages we pay our head coaches, the wages we pay our scouts, the wages we pay our players, the volume of money that we spend on our squad. Where we are for the money we spend is nothing short of horrendous. This isn't me sitting there as a spoiled brat Man United fan. Or just without winning, we're nothing. Without being consistent, we're nothing. I just want us, at the very least, to become a consistent team. Now, that doesn't mean repeating the same pattern of play over and over again. I actually think you'll get found out doing that. But I'm talking structurally. Being hard to break down. Players being close to one another. Not exposing the midfield. Not putting players that have no electric pace out on the wings when you're not playing overlapping wingers. How does that make sense? Taking off players who deserve to be taken off. Dropping individuals, captain or not, who deserve to be dropped. Man United have got to act. Ineos have got to act. Dan Ashworth has got to act. We have seen the Roy Keanes and the Gary Nevilles in the past call out managers at this club, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho. They need to also do the same here. The Man United kind of alumni that are in the media need to be honest. This isn't about attacking Ten Hag. This isn't about his personality. This isn't a vendetta against him as a human being. This is purely and simply about the betterment of our football club. Ineos have, and there always were, going to make mistakes along the way in this rebuild. But I think one thing we have to do early is cut our losses with this manager. Now, some people will say to me, Terry, but you turned around and advocated for Arteta staying at Arsenal. Why is the energy different now? Well, actually, in these first couple of years, I didn't. And in the first couple of years, I thought and I believed that Arsenal would have been right to have moved him on. Now, with hindsight, you could say that was a wrong opinion. But we don't know what we don't know. If they would have got rid of Arteta 4 years ago, and brought in at the time a better manager, they could be at an even better level now. We don't know. However, Arteta turning it around and doing what he's doing now, I personally think is a rarity. I believe it's the proverbial rocking horse shit. I don't believe it's the norm. So I don't see the situations as the same. Therefore, my opinion is different. Now, if you see the situations as the same, that's your opinion. My opinion is slightly different on this. So it's not about the same energy. It is about me looking at this circumstance, being absolutely mortified at the way we play football, exhausted, frustrated, angry. And I want to get to a point where we're hyper-focusing on players. I want us to be like, do you know what? The shape was really good. We were hard to break down. But that Maguire mistake cost us. Maguire, punish him. Drop him. Fine wages, whatever it may be. Enough mistakes, you sell him. I want to get to a point where we're saying, look, the attack looks great. It's just Bruno isn't quite doing it. Or, the attack looks great, but you know what? Garnacho just isn't the guy. So let's sell him and bring somebody better in. It's so hard to have player conversations when we don't have the basic structure on the field of play correct. Now we're fixing it behind the scenes, and having it fixed behind the scenes means we must improve on the football pitch. And if this head coach cannot get us to be consistent, he must be fired. Not because I have an agenda, not because it's Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out, but I want Man United to improve. And unless you can cite me examples where there is a huge body of work of managers significantly turning situations around from where Ten Hag has been, with his experience, with his CV, with everything we know about him already, show me these examples. And remember, you look at every major takeover and rebuild in the Premier League in the last 20 years. Chelsea in 2004. The Sheikh when he came into Manchester City. Chelsea's, all of them. You look at FFGs when they took over Liverpool. They all kept their manager for a small period of time once they first came in. So Ineos keeping Ten Hag is not an anomaly here. However, I think it's come to the end of the road. I want your views and opinions. Is your head hot like mine? Or do you think I'm overreacting? I'd love to get your opinions on this. But for me, Man United must act now.